Vicky, first day at the Incora County Ground, first training session. How have you found not only the arrival but your first impressions of the players and coaching staff?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. It's been great to finally get here. It's been great to, I've spent a lot of time talking to the players, but it was great to actually watch it with my own eyes. We trained beautifully today. Our coaches were outstanding. So today was really good. It feels good to be here. The vibe felt good. Attitudes were outstanding. We were structured. We were organised. So I couldn't be more happier for day one.
And do you think then the players have responded well to your methods even while you've not been here?
Yeah, they have. They've been outstanding, and that's been visible just in their fitness assessments. All players' results have come down markedly, and that's great because again, that shows for me, that shows attitude, shows commitment, and shows they want to get better, and they're giving themselves the best possible opportunity of doing that. So we'll just keep driving that because that creates a culture. You get the culture right, it becomes quite powerful. You get some results, and who knows what could happen.
And I suppose as well, what's been quite nice, even though you haven't been here, you've been able to kind of forge that good relationship with the coaching staff. You've entrusted them to really get things moving in your absence. So you've been able to come in today and almost slot in quite seamlessly.
Yeah, and I can't speak highly enough of the job they've done. Ajmal Shahzad has been outstanding in his structure. We've had Mal Lloyd, Chris Hutton. We've just got a new physio, and we've got a new S&C. James Bell, Julian Califato have come in. So I kind of think we're building such a nice team. And as I say, I can't speak more highly enough of the job that the staff have done. They've been wonderful.
Yeah, you mentioned there James and Julian starting. It's a whole new kind of medical and S&C department. I suppose in some ways, does that make it easy for you coming in with kind of people who you know? I know you knew Julian from before. James, recruited from Durham. It's a high standard of person replacing what was high standards of people leaving. Exactly
right, Stephen. So I think that's key because what it does do is it allows me to develop, not so much to develop because they're all very, very good in their own way, but it allows me to develop the direction that we want the players going in, the direction that I would love to see our county go in. So with new guys, they're impressionable. We've signed good guys. We've got a good core team around us now. We've signed great overseas players. So everything is good. I just can't wait for the season to start.
Yeah, you mentioned there the overseas players. I think we've all been watching Sean Masood in the PSL, how well he's been doing. I think we're all getting excited watching clips of Saranga Lakmal as well. But firstly, just on Sean, he's been called up to the Pakistan squad. Now, I know you when we spoke a few weeks ago, you said that he was coming here really to try and get into that setup. So he has been called up, but you hope he'll be back for the start of the season.
Yeah, look, I'm in constant dialogue with him. He will definitely be back for the start of the season. He'll be playing the first game at Lords. There's no doubt about that. And we'll have Sean predominantly for most of the year, which is great. And that was one of the reasons we got him, because he's the character that I wanted to come into our setup. He's a wonderful player, but he's also a wonderful guy with great values. And similarly with Saranga Lakmal, I felt we needed one quality overseas batsman. We needed a quality new ball bowler. Saranga Lakmal's that guy, and it's so great that Saranga Lakmal now has committed 2 years to us. So we've got him for 2 years. He's retired from international cricket. So we've got Saranga Lakmal for all the games. He's a wonderful character, tough, uncompromising. And I know that he'll do a really good job for us.
And I suppose the key with Saranga is it's an experienced player, played a lot of games at the top level. He's coming in really to lead quite a young attack, and they can really learn and develop and feed off him, can't they?
Exactly right, and that was one of the things we needed. We needed that experience with the new ball. We've got a very, very potentially good attack, but they're all young, It would be tough on them saying to those young guys and asking them to lead our attack through a county season. They need to learn off a seasoned pro, and Saranga Lakmal's that guy.
Yeah, and on Sean as well. I mean, it's nice. You've got a current international coming in now that he's been called up, but you look at him in the PSL. He can do it in all formats, can't he?
Yeah, he can do it on formats, and that was one of the reasons we went for a guy like that was because he can do it in all formats. Seranga Lakmal similarly, he can do it in all formats as well. He's predominantly a red ball bowler, but he's had a very successful white ball career as well. So the one thing he does do, he bowls very well at depth, and that's something that we've been lacking in terms of our white ball cricket over the last couple of years. So we've got a death bowler now. We've got something to fall back on. We've got some experience to bowl those pressure overs. So no, I'm very comfortable, very excited, and just as I say, can't wait for it to start.
Yeah, and one thing that keeps being mentioned about the two overseas players, and is reflected already in what I'm seeing in training from our current players as well, is the fitness and the work rate. And they were the kind of characters you wanted to bring in and set the tone, because that's really key for you, isn't it?
Exactly right. You want to bring in guys that you know are coming for the right reasons. You want to bring in guys that are not just here to make the numbers up and be the overseas pro, and I know both these guys are going to be totally committed to Derbyshire County Cricket Club. They're going to adopt it. They're going to play for the badge. They're going to do everything that you expect a local player to do. So when you sign overseas player, I think it's so key that you get those type of characters. You get those guys that are going to drag your culture and to drag your team forward, and that was one of the reasons I went for them, because they've both been very impressive when I've had the privilege of working with them before.
Yeah, and on yourself now, naturally it was quite a shock when it was announced that you were coming to Derbyshire. I mean, you were an international coach of 4 different nations, you had success with all of them. It wasn't thought that Mickey Arthur could come to Derbyshire. For you, how excited are you about the project, but also how do you think you'll adjust to a county cricket role?
Well, that was the thing that excited me, was the project. I'd always had an affinity with Derbyshire because of 2 of my coaches in the late Eddie Barlow and Fred Swarbrook were Derbyshire County Cricket Club players. So there was always that affinity. So I'd always go and have a look at Derbyshire schools, etc., etc. But I've been on the road for 12 years. Coaching internationally is great, and it was fantastic. But I felt I needed another challenge. And the last 2 years have been tough being an international coach. I mean, I haven't been home to Perth, Western Australia, for 2.5 years. My whole Sri Lankan coaching stint, during that time, I haven't been home, and so I haven't seen family. I haven't seen my daughters. I haven't seen anybody, and this role gave me a project, but it also kind of gave me a little bit of stability. Knowing when your seasons were, knowing that when you could do things outside of your cricket season. It just appealed to me. It was the right time for me to get involved. And I could have gone and done franchises. I've done franchises before. They don't excite me as much as getting involved in a team and developing players. But putting a program together for the players that is over a year. Yeah, you walk into a franchise, you go, it's a 6 week, 4 week time to. As a coach, I don't feel I can make any impact. I create an environment there and off we go. Whereas here, I feel I can make a real impact on players' lives, on players' careers, but also on Derbyshire County Cricket Club and trying to drive us to some success.
I suppose a key part of that success in the future as well will be the academy. Now, I saw you on Twitter earlier this week talking about how some of the academy boys have impressed you, also the academy graduates we already have in the team. I know you've had constant contact with Darren Smith. How much has the setup impressed you, and how excited are you for the future of Derbyshire cricket?
Yeah, I am, because I think those talent pathways are so important. I'd like to see our best talented young players in our own pathway playing second 11 cricket if there's an opportunity, rather than just bringing in some arbitrary trialists. I want to see our young players developed, and I know Darren Smith does a great job. I know we've got a very good talent pathway, and it's something that over the next couple of weeks I'll get my teeth into as well, and certainly go and have a look as to how it all operates. And we're at Loughborough next week on Wednesday and Friday with 2 live net training sessions, and we've invited a couple of the best academy, because they're on midterm break. So that we've got 3 of the best young academy boys coming into our training sessions. So I'm really looking forward to seeing those guys go about their business.